Hey everyone, COE33 here. Welcome to the Downstairs Game Room, the Dragon Slayer. And guys, Spooktacular 2022 is in full swing. It is the spooky season. And as you can see, the game room down here is all decked out. Little Resident Evil Village on the big screen. The Suffering on the CRT. I'm on chapter 12 out of 20 on that right now. And of course we got a little spooky wallpaper and all the cobwebs and everything going on here in the downstairs game room. But guys, when Halloween comes around, as much as I love talking about and collecting video games, you guys know this, I also have a lot of love for movies. I'm a lifelong movie buff. I have been since I was a little kid. I remember renting VHS tapes, and especially horror movies are some of my favorites. So I thought, you know what, this will be a good time to share the horror movie collection with you guys. So I got VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K horror movies, I should say. And I'm looking forward to sharing this with you. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna start down here because this is actually where I have some of my horror movies, not many, but my Aliens and Predator stuff all lives right over here. And I actually haven't shared this on the channel yet. Now, normally it doesn't have cobwebs all over it, but it is the season. So the original Alien and Aliens, and even the third one, are some of my all-time favorite movies. I grew up watching these movies. I adore them. I love them. So much so that I have an entire shelf in the downstairs game room dedicated to Aliens and Predator stuff. And I even have this pretty awesome signed little 8x10 from Sigourney Weaver. What an iconic scene there where Queen Alien and Sigourney are battling it out. And there she is signing it. Very cool. So we'll start here, guys. And we're starting with the Alien movies. So we got the Alien, now this is the 35th anniversary edition, and then the Aliens 30th anniversary edition on Blu-ray. And then of course Prometheus, Alien Resurrection, Alien 3, and another Prometheus. So one of those Prometheuses is the director's cut, I believe, yeah. And then I did just pick, this is actually one of the most recent pickups. I got this beautiful Alien 4K. Now I wish this had like a steelbook or a slipcover or something, but nonetheless, very cool to have that, and I can't wait to watch Alien in 4K. I have not yet done that, and that's going to be quite the treat because that is one of my top all-time favorite movies. And then going down here, guys, now of course spiderwebs all over the place. Predator stuff. We got the Predator 4K collection. Now it's really dark. I apologize for that. Let's see if we can get that to lighten up at all. Probably not. But I have the Predator 4K collection down there. And then I have all the Predator movies on VHS and DVD. So all kinds of cool stuff. But what we're going to do is we're going to transport right now to the movie closet. I have a closet underneath my staircase where I have all my DVDs and VHS, in particular a lot of horror DVDs. So let's do that now. All right, underneath the staircase. Now, this is initially where all the movies live. Now, I do have lights in here, so let me turn these on. And I eventually outgrew this space. Get this light going. Yeah, there we go. So this is where I have all my DVDs, VHS, all my horror movie DVDs, and initially all my movies, my 4Ks, my Blu-rays, everything lived here. And I ended up getting so many DVDs and so many Blu-rays and 4K that I had to separate the collection. So this closet now is just for DVDs and VHS. And you can see I have my little Blockbuster video sign there. And I have some posters from some of my favorite movies, Terminator, Jaws, Batman. And why don't we go ahead and... Oh, I've got the Star Wars poster up on the wall too. I'm going to slip in here. It's kind of a tight squeeze. There we go. Okay. I'm going to give you guys the full experience of the movie closet. Okay, so these are all my horror DVDs. You can see I even have a little horror sign there. And let's see. Let's start at the bottom here, shall we? Okay. So Walmart, every year they have these DVD Halloween slipcovers, these glow-in-the-dark slipcovers. And they've been doing that for, oh gosh, like 5 years, something like that. Now, they used to be $5 each. And when they were $5 each, I was buying them all. I've stopped buying them all because, frankly, I'm kind of, these days, more interested in getting really good 4K transfers from boutique Blu-ray labels than I am these Walmart DVDs. But I really do like having these. And sometimes, there's something about horror movies on DVD, especially like low-budget horror movies, it just kind of works. I don't know. It's very almost filmic, having that low fidelity, not having that super crisp image. And I don't mind rocking a DVD. I still watch DVDs all the time. So let's start down here. I'm just gonna go through. I can't list off every movie because this video would be very long. But I really do like these slipcovers. Let's look at one of these slipcovers. So they glow in the dark, and they've got the really kind of, I like the black slipcover, and just a pretty cool little releases from Walmart. And they're still doing that, although they're expensive now. Some of them are like $17, $18, $20 at Walmart. But we got Dracula, The Wolfman, Psycho, Purge, Last House on the Left. Now, is this the original? I can't remember. Or is this? No, this is the remake. I wish that was the original. The remake, that's all right, I guess. Krampus, Child's Play 2, and those Child's Play movies just got the 4K treatment from Scream Factory, so that's pretty cool. I haven't picked those up yet, though, because I have the Child's Play Blu-ray set with that lenticular cover. We'll see that in a second. Phantom of the Opera, of course, the Halloween movies, all kinds of stuff. Poltergeist collection. A lot of this stuff is kind of redundant now because I have upgraded a lot of these. You'll see in a little bit. Pitch Black. But I just like the way these display. Of course, the Jaws movie collection. Tremors, one of my all-time favorite movies. Frankenstein. And then let's go up here to some of the standard DVD releases. Altered States, The Mummy. Firestarter. It's Drew Barrymore's film debut, and she did a great job in that. I really like that movie quite a bit. Manhunter, that's the original Silence of the Lambs movie. Michael Mann directed. Awesome. Don't Breathe. That's as far as modern horror, I thought that was really good. Panic Room, that's not really horror. I could probably move that. That's more of a suspense. Of course, Night of the Living Dead and The Omen, classic. Poltergeist, one of my all-time favorites. Halloween, Silence of the Lambs. That made-for-TV Stephen King, Red Rose. That wasn't particularly good. I thought it was a little bit slow, personally. But Thinner, Pet Sematary, Friday the 13th, Christine. I'm a huge John Carpenter fan, so I'm trying to get all the John Carpenter and all the David Cronenberg films like on the best format possible. But sometimes you have like special features on the DVDs that you just don't necessarily want to get rid of the DVD. You guys know how it goes, I'm sure. And then Pumpkinhead, Alfred Hitchcock collection. We got some of the M. Night Shyamalan stuff over there. Some Army of Darkness, awesome stuff. Some of the Saw movies, all kinds of cool things. Up here, I've got one of my favorites, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I love that movie. And then Severin, they had a sale on DVDs not too long ago, and they were just blowing out their DVDs. And I bought a whole bunch of them because the prices were too good to pass up. I mean, they were like $3, $5 each. And so I picked up a bunch of Severin. So I picked up, let's start from the right and work our way left. We've got some Giallo there. We got Day of the Animals, Endgame, The Beast and Heat, Next of Kin, The Boys Next Door, Deep Blood, Night of the Demons, St. Bernard, Killer Crocodile, Turkey Shoot. Turkey Shoot is a really cool Ozploitation film that I had quite a bit. I hadn't seen it before, and I watched it not that long ago, and I thought it was kind of amazing. Grizzly, Peanut Butter Solution, The Changeling, Invaders of the Lost Gold, and what is that? It's the Mad Doctor of Blood Island. And there's kind of bookmarked there by the Friday the 13th collection and the Nightmare on Elm Street collection. And I haven't seen all those Severin films. I got them because, the price was too good, and I like watching some kind of more obscure movies that I haven't seen before, so I still have to dig into a bunch of those. So far out of those, I've watched about half of them. I did enjoy Turkey Shoot. Grizzly was fun. Of course, The Changeling. I didn't really care for Mad Doctor of Blood Island. I thought that was kind of meh. And then up there, Night of the Living Dead, the OG, the classic. Children of the Corn, and then there's a few movies up in the left corner. And then, of course, I have a whole bunch of other movies. See if we can pan all these DVDs back here. And let's see if I can kind of sit up. Bear with me. I'm going to do this kind of vlog style. Not a lot of editing. Okay, I've got, let's see if I can move this light over here so you guys can get a better view. There we go. Look at that. Okay. VHS. Okay, so some pretty cool stuff too. The Faculty, I love that movie. The Faculty is so good. Interview with Vampire. And all these VHS are like in really good condition too. So that's one of the things I like. They all work. They're all in good shape. Scream, Scream 2, Bram Stoker's Dracula. And then some of the kind of nicer, more collectible VHS that I have. I've got Bloodstone, Subspecies 2, Subspecies. So pretty cool to have those Full Moon Charles Band VHS tapes in the collection. This is the kind of stuff that back in the day I rented at the Blockbuster and stuff. And like my buddies and I would go on a weekend on like a Friday night or Saturday and rent just a whole bunch of kind of off the beaten path horror movies and binge watch them. So I have a lot of love for this kind of stuff. Vampires, Bloodlust, Subspecies 3, American Werewolf in Paris. Now, American Werewolf in London is one of my all-time favorites. Paris is all right. Silence of the Lambs, and then I got some action stuff. Horror movies and action movies are by far my favorite. So, guys, those are the DVDs and VHS. But now let's get into the good stuff, the stuff I'm real passionate about, especially lately as far as collecting. And that's like the boutique Blu-rays and 4Ks from some of my favorite companies, whether it's like Arrow Video or Vinegar Syndrome, Severin, all that good stuff. So this transition again and take a look at the rest of the collection. All right, here we are in the living room, and then I've got all my movies in these cubbies here, and they're 2 layers back and on top of each other. So there's altogether I have 1,059 movies as of this morning. And then I have some of my boutique stuff here. Let's turn off this air purifier so you don't have to listen to that. That's kind of loud. Okay, so I've got this little wall display. Again, I was running out of room, so I had to come up with a way to display some more movies. And I think it turned out pretty good. I've got the little movie reels there. And I even made these little divider tabs. So I've got Arrow Video, Criterion, Scream Factory, Steelbooks, Vestron, Vinegar Syndrome, and then I have, I believe, Severin and a couple more, and Blue Underground that you'll see in a second. Okay, so this start up here, and then I do have a few movies that are kind of out of order, and they're not alphabetical, so I hope it doesn't trigger you guys. I know some of you are sticklers for that. That may be down the road something I do, but because I have everything kind of in different spots, it's kind of hard to do alphabetical, to be honest, so I'm trying to kind of categorize them by label instead. And it works for me because I know where everything's at. So we're going to start here with, I go back and forth on what my favorite boutique Blu-ray label is. For a long time, I would have said for sure Arrow, and it still may be. Vinegar Syndrome lately, guys, is killing it, though. They've got some, like, their slip covers are really nice, and they're doing those VSUs that are super nice. But as of now, I think Arrow is still my favorite. So as far as Arrow horror movies go, I have Crimson Peak. Unfortunately, I don't have the special edition of that, but I do have this one without the slip. And then, of course, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. I'm a huge Elvira fan. She's awesome. Grew up watching her on in her movies and in TV. And then I'm going to skip over the stuff that's not horror, but, you can see it there, guys. If you are into movies, I'm sure you'll appreciate some of the stuff. Some of my favorites growing up, the House movies. So, actually, this one, I missed out when this came out, this House 2 Stories from Arrow, and actually sold out. And this is one of the few movies that I actually bought on eBay and paid over retail for, just because I had to have it, because I'm such a big fan of these movies. That original House in particular is one of my all-time favorites. I absolutely love it. And House 2 was a lot of fun as well. And look at that nice edition. It's got a huge booklet in it, really nice transfers. One of my favorite pieces of physical media for sure. And of course, this is a recent release, and what a nice one it is. American Werewolf in London. Beautiful 4K. So awesome to have movies like this, the all-time great movies with these beautiful box sets with the wonderful special features and the 4K transfers is such a treat. And speaking of which, Tremors, I saw this in the movie theater growing up. I adore this movie, and this 4K transfer is amazing. Sometimes it's like watching these movies for the first time. You got the surround sound set up, the big screen TV, the 4K transfer, and you feel like you're seeing these details and you're hearing stuff you've never heard before, or at least since the movie theater back in the day. So it really is a treat watching these movies on the 4K format from a good label like Arrow. And then 12 Monkeys, Pitch Black. This was the first Arrow 4K that they released. And yeah, it's a good one. I like it quite a bit, Pitch Black. Okay, moving on to Criterion. I'm not seeing this. See, what do we got as far as horror? Well, it's not really horror, but Godzilla. There we go. Silence of the Lambs. I actually have not watched this transfer yet. I've seen the movie 100 times probably, but I have not seen that movie, this transfer of the movie. So, when I think of favorite directors, it's the two that really pop up are like Cronenberg and Carpenter. And Cronenberg, I've actually almost watched every Cronenberg now movie. There's only a couple that I haven't seen, and I'm trying to get the best transfers of all his movies. So here's Scanners. I love Scanners. It's so good. One of my favorites, Videodrome, and this is actually one of my favorite Criterion releases. Look at this nice box set. This really nice slipcover. I just love the way they put this together. It's a super nice release from Criterion. Pan's Labyrinth, the great Guillermo del Toro movie. I love it. This isn't horror, this is more action, but I actually just watched this for the first time not that long ago, Lady Snowblood. And boy, was that a great watch or what? I love this movie. And this is one of the inspirations for Kill Bill from Quentin Tarantino. He watched this movie, and you can see the influence quite a bit. Okay, now we're moving on to Scream Factory. Now, I do like Scream Factory quite a bit. I have a lot of Scream Factory, but I don't know. Sometimes their releases are hit or miss, in my opinion. But that said, they've done some great stuff, and they get a lot of the titles that I love. So I've got a whole bunch of them here. Okay, so Phantasm. Unfortunately, I don't have the slipcover there. That's the second Phantasm movie. King Kong, The Dead Zone, another great Cronenberg movie. What a great performance from Christopher Walken. Rabid, that's an early Cronenberg. Cyborg is action, but it's a lot of fun. Life Force, really fun Tobe Hooper movie. I quite enjoyed Life Force, and that's a good 4K transfer of that as well. Of course, Escape from New York. I mean, I don't know. It's top 20 for sure movies of all time. Maybe top 10. I don't know. I love that movie so much. They Live, another great Carpenter movie. The Howling. I just picked it. This is one of the more recent pickups. I saw this at Best Buy. It's a 4K. I thought, oh yeah, got to get that. Even though I do have a Blu-ray of that, but that's okay. Alligator, I picked this up. I had never seen it before, and I enjoyed watching that quite a bit. That's a good watch. And then, of course, the beautiful Halloween 4K kind of little box sets that we got last year, and I bought them all. So I've got the original Halloween, Halloween 2, Halloween 3, such a good movie. I love Halloween 3, Halloween 4, and Halloween 5. These are some of my all-time favorites. Of course, the first one is my favorite, and then probably the third one, and then probably the second. I mean, they're all good, though. I like them all. I'm still on the fence about the new box set that they released this year. I don't know. I wish they had just continued. If they had just continued kind of releasing them individually like this, that would have been awesome. But they have a box set instead. But that's okay, whatever. Okay, moving down here, guys. There's the Blu-ray Scream Factory of Firestarter. So I have the DVD, but this is the upgrade. And then, of course, the Critters box set. Lots of fun. And then we're moving into some of the steelbooks. Pumpkinhead, Prince of Darkness, more Carpenter, Motel Hell, what a fun movie that is. Quiet Place, as far as modern horror, Quiet Place and Quiet Place 2, they're up there. I mean, I saw both of these at the theater, and I really am super impressed with these movies. I think they're super well done. And then I'm going to skip over some stuff that's not really horror. I do like M. Night Shyamalan, even though he's hit or miss, so I'm trying to get all his stuff. Old was a decent watch. It's kind of middle of the road, I think, as far as Shyamalan movies. It's not a classic like Signs or Unbreakable or Sixth Sense or anything like that, or Split, but it's also not as bad as some of his stuff. So it's right in the middle for me. Christine, of course. The Fly, what a great movie. Young Frankenstein, that's a comedy, but Doctor Sleep, they did that right. Boy, I love the original Shining. And Doctor Sleep, I was expecting nothing out of that movie, and what I got was a excellent movie that I liked so much. I bought the steelbook. The original Phantasm, classic 70s horror, super good movie. If you haven't seen Phantasm, I definitely recommend it. Of course, The Shining, what a masterpiece. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, classic. And then, let's see, we got some action, some classics. Okay, now we're on to our Vestron. I really like these Vestron with the slipcovers. I would like to get all these, but they're starting to shoot up a little bit in price. Shivers, I just watched Shivers recently for the first time, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. It was good. Is this the first kind of full-length feature film from Cronenberg? I can't remember. I think it is, and it was a lot of fun. And then, what else? Okay, now we're on to Vinegar Syndrome. And look at how nice these Vinegar Syndromes are. So, with The Cellar, there's Drop Dead Fred. The Cellar, that was a lot of fun. Creature, I don't know. I wasn't really jiving with Creature. Some great miniature work. I like the creature effects. Klaus Kinski gives a really fun performance there, but it could have been better in my opinion. Ticks, though, what a treat. Ticks was awesome. I love it. And then we have some of those box sets that Vinegar Syndrome does so well. They're not horror, but Cloak and Dagger, and then, of course, the New York Ninja there. Very cool stuff. Okay, let's move over to kind of the bulk of the Blu-ray and 4K collection and take a look at that. All right, here we are. So each cubby, I have 4 cubbies in the living room. Each one is filled with Blu-rays and 4K, and they're stacked on top of each other, and then they're stacked too deep as well. So I'm just trying to make the best out of the space I have. And there, you can see me right there in the reflection there. I have these little signs that I printed out, so just, a little extra touch to kind of make it a nice presentation for these movies. And okay, so what do we got here? Okay, we got some Severin. We got Skin Deep. This is great. Skin Deep. What amazing. This is a fever dream of a movie. I can't, it's almost hard to even describe, but I say you gotta watch this. This is so good. I don't even want to say anything about it other than if you want a crazy, over the top, wild, eccentric horror movie, Skin Deep is where it's at. And then we got some Giallo. I actually have not watched this yet. I'm dropping stuff, but that's okay. And I hear good things about this. This is a Severin that I picked up on one of their sales. And yeah, I need to watch that. Of course, Maximum Overdrive, Stephen King's directorial, there we go, debut. And I feel like he knocked it out of the park, frankly. I love Maximum Overdrive, and it's a wild movie. And yeah, I really enjoy it. I watch this one all the time. I think it's a lot of fun. So let's actually move these down so they're not dropping. Okay, so these are a lot of the horror Blu-rays, guys. I'm going to start to the left and work my way right. I'm not going to list every movie. I'm just going to point out some that kind of stand out to me. Let's see, Let Me In. As far as, there's not a lot of modern horror that I love. Let Me In is one of them, though. I thought it was really good. 10 Cloverfield Lane is another example of a kind of modern suspense horror sci-fi kind of movie that I thought was really good. Of course, The Conjuring. Oh, and I do have this little Severin label too, so when I get some more Severins I can use this to kind of have their own little Severin section. These are really easy to make, guys. I just took some 4x6 photo paper. I just downloaded the labels basically for all the different companies, and then in Photoshop just put the labels on a 4x6 template, print it out on 4x6 photo paper, and then cut them into strips like this. So super easy DIY. If you guys want to, try that yourself, it's real easy. Cujo, what a great movie. I love Cujo. It's another Stephen King adaptation. Hollow Man, Apparition, Krampus, kind of a classic Christmas movie now. Not many movies become kind of iconic holiday movies these days, but I feel like Krampus did a pretty good job of kind of slipping in there. And what else we got? Of course, Hellraiser. I really want to see that new Hellraiser movie on Hulu. I might actually watch that tonight because it just released. It Follows. It's another kind of modern horror movie that really has made its mark. And I think, and actually speaking of modern horror movies that made a mark, geez, The Witch. Now this actually has a 4K, which I wouldn't mind getting. The Witch, so good. That director is a director to watch. Really like his work. Let's see. Of course, the Scream 5 films. I love the Scream movies. I grew up. I saw that first one in the movie theater, so I wanted to get that 5-film set there. The original Child's Play, It, Near Dark, guys. This has actually got like a 4K. I don't know if it was a full announcement or a rumor. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure this is coming to 4K. And this was an out-of-print Blu-ray that was kind of around that $100 mark there for a while. And I actually got that at a local game store that sells movies for, I think it was like $4, and I couldn't believe it. Seeing that sitting there, saying, wow, score. So it's nice to have that in the collection. Jaws 3, and then, of course, like The Hills Have Eyes, and then the Underworld movies. Here's the Chucky set, the lenticular Chucky set, and I really like this set. I don't even know if I'm going to upgrade to 4K, because this is a pretty sweet set. And then we got some of the Jurassic Park stuff. I picked this set up during the Severin sale, the Eurocrypt of Christopher Lee, and I need to dig into that. I didn't grow up watching the Hammer horror movies and the Christopher Lee stuff, so I'm not super familiar with that. And I look forward, I think it's going to be a whole new kind of subset of horror to dive into, and I'm looking forward to that. And then behind all this is just a kind of standard, not horror Blu-rays, but standard. You know, it's a mix of Blu-rays behind that, so I'm not going to dig out all that stuff. And then moving down here, I got some of my Steelbook box sets. They're not horror, so I'm not going to go into them, but these are some of my favorite items in the collection. This beautiful Mad Max set and this Rambo set. But let's move over here, guys. Hey, here we are. We got some more movies. And let's see. I do have some Kino Lorber that I picked up. It's not all horror, but there is some. The Pit, that was wild. That was quite the watch. Jeez, that was a weird movie. And Repo, the Genetic Opera, I need to watch that. That was a recommendation by a friend. Okay, and then these are some recent pickups. I actually haven't put these where they actually belong because these are a Scream Factory and a Shout Factory and a couple steel books I need to put up on the shelf. But Species, I just picked this up. And then Red Dawn, Last Action Hero. And then this one I've seen. I saw this at the movie theater when it released back in the 90s, Event Horizon. And I really like this movie. This is kind of, it's such a 90s horror movie. It's very, and there's a cut of this that never got released that's supposed to be amazing. That's really goes into the kind of the hellscape horror that I think the director intended. That a lot of this got cut and lost over time, unfortunately. So I don't think we'll ever see it. But even what we did get, the theatrical release of Event Horizon, really fun movie. It's Hellraiser in space, basically. And look at that slipcover. Super cool. I love it. So here, I'll put this down here. And then I've got some more kind of random 4Ks down here. I'm sorry for the lighting, guys. I know it's not great, but I don't know. There's nothing I can do out here. It's all the lighting I have. This is where just all my 4K stuff is at. So a lot of just standard releases, but I did just pick up The Lost Boys. This is that brand new release from Scream Factory. Or is it Scream Factory that did this? No, this is just a standard studio release, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Warner Brothers. Okay, but yeah, super cool. One of my faves. I love Lost Boys. And then some more Cronenberg and some action stuff. Halloween 2018 there on 4K. Godzilla vs. Kong, Evil Dead's on 4K. And then we have some Blue Underground here. I'll try to zoom in a little bit. Oh, it's a little dusty down here. And yeah, those Blue Underground, another great label. So the New York Ripper, Maniac, House by the Cemetery. Yeah, those are pretty wild. Those are definitely some kind of off the beaten path 80s and 70s horror movies. And then one of my all-time favorites, Jaws. Jaws is a perfect movie in my opinion. I can watch that movie over and over and just love it every time. And guys, those are my horror movies. And yeah, one of my favorite things to collect for. You know, I've been collecting movies for quite a while now. And along with video games, definitely one of my favorite hobbies. Watching movies, learning about movies, collecting movies. And we're spoiled as far as movie collectors these days because these labels, these, you know, the Shout Factories and the Arrows and the Vinegar Syndromes, they're releasing some amazing stuff. And unfortunately, it's kind of expensive and not easy on the wallet. But yeah, that is what it is. Okay, guys, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'm posting new videos every Wednesday at 7 p.m. You can count on that. I have the community Discord, the Dragons Lair. We can hang out when I'm not posting videos on YouTube. Love to see you over there. And then I'm live streaming on Twitch every Tuesday and Thursday at COE33. I'd love to see you there. I'm doing all retro content on original hardware, even a CRT television. Right now, I'm streaming The Suffering. And I'm about 70% of the way through that game. I'll be playing spooky games all month long. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, bye.